Hey, what is going on, y'all? In today's video, I'm gonna tell you what I'd like to see DJI do with their 360 camera in order to beat out the Insta360 X4. Let's go! All right, so as I mentioned in the open, I've owned this Insta360 X4 since about May of 2024. I previously had the X3, and I've made videos about that. You can check those out down in the description, or I'll put cards at the end of this video. But I've owned the X4, and I've got some positives, some things that I really love about it, and then I've got some things in my mind that DJI could do in order to surpass the X4. And if they take my tips, you know, if they happen to see this video and take my tips, it'd be really cool to see those features in the DJI 360 camera that's anticipated to be coming out here soon. Let's get into it. All right, so starting off with the Insta360 and the things that I like. So I am a big fan of the big screen right here. The big screen on the camera, that's awesome. The ability to interact and check your media settings and all those other kinds of things when it comes to the 360. It is absolutely excellent and an improvement over the X3. One of the things that I really like about the X4 are the lens protectors, the lens guards. These are the premium lens guards. And so I'll talk about what I don't like here in a minute, but I do like the fact that you can protect the camera, you can protect the lenses. Unfortunately, I had a situation where I dropped my original X3 and the lenses shattered, and thank goodness I had them on there. But I didn't have any replacements with me, so that was an issue. But anyway, that's a separate situation, so on and so forth. But you can see right here, you have your menus, all those other kinds of things when it comes to the Insta360. I like that it's very bulky, very sturdy, it's waterproof. I believe it's IPA68, I'll have to check. But anyway, it's waterproof, you can put it in the water. There are some particular things that you need to do in order to get quality water shots, like for instance, the case and so on and so forth. But you know, you do have the ability to shoot underwater if you want to. And so, I also like the durability. You'll see right here, I got a little bit of damage from one of the shoots on what I did with my motorcycle when I was motovlogging, reviewing a bike, but the camera still functions as it's supposed to. Some of the things I don't like and where I think DJI could beat out the Insta360. And I'm going to specifically talk about the Insta360 itself right now. So what I will tell you is the audio, the Bluetooth audio from this camera to my DJI Mic 2 is horrible. It is.
We got here. I'll spin you around with the 360 Tampa hammock. Love. Look at that. Pajamas for lovers. That's pretty dope.
I did a video when I went to Colonial Bike Fest, and the audio was pretty much not usable. So I had to make do and figure out a few different things in order to make it happen. But from now on, I will not be Bluetoothing my audio directly to this device. I can't figure out how to make it work. If you know how to get quality audio between your Insta360 X4 and your DJI Mic 2, by all means, please drop it in the comments in terms of how you do that. But anyhow, moving on, some of the things that I do like and I really am a big fan of as far as the Insta360 X4 goes is the GPS Remote. The new GPS Remote that they released, this thing is excellent. It is absolutely user-friendly. You get a display in terms of what the camera is shooting, and that'll come up here in just a minute. You get a display in terms of what the camera is shooting, but then this GPS remote also allows you to turn the camera on and off. So for instance, on my motorcycle, if it's way behind me in the position that it is, and I'll show you that real quick, if it's way behind me, I can simply hit this record button. I'll bring this over here so you can see it. And then, yep, it's all linked up. And then it starts the recording on the camera. And I can also awaken the camera too from a distance away. So that's an absolutely cool feature. That way I don't have to worry about if it's on or not. I can see it right on my handlebars right here mounted. I can see that it's actually rolling. So I absolutely love the GPS remote for the Insta360 X4. All right, so moving on. The other thing that I really like, I don't use the phone app. I can't stand it. I don't like doing anything on my phone, especially if I can do it on my computer. So the Insta360 computer program, I forget the name of it, but I love using it. Using or editing 360 footage can be a little bit of a challenge, especially if you have different points of views that you want to do, and you have to mark different spots and so on and so forth. But again, that's a part of the editing process. That's what you sign up for when you do YouTube and you have a 360 camera. But again, the advantage of a 360 camera is you can catch any footage around you that you need to. So for instance, when I went to Colonial Bike Week and there was a Sasquatch standing off on the side, I was able to focus in on that. And you can check out that video if you'd like. It'll be in the description. But anyway, I think the advantages of a 360 are more, advantageous than not having it. But those are some of the features that the Insta360 X4 does really well. And so some of the things that I'm going to point out in terms of what DJI could do better with their 360 camera are going to be things that Insta360 does not do well, or that DJI can do better than Insta. So I'm going to go through what I think, and then I'm also going to go through a web page that I found, and I'll give proper credit. It looks like Flying Tunnel 05. I'll check and see. I'm going to give proper credit to this person and some of the things that they pointed out that we know about the DJI 360. So that'll allow you to make an informed decision when it comes out. Let's hop on over to what I think DJI could do better to beat out the Insta360 X4. So as I previously mentioned, I am a huge DJI fan. I have the Osmo Pocket 3, which I'm shooting on right here. I have the DJI Action 4, which you can see right here. And then also I have a DJI Mini 3 Pro, and I'm gonna be looking to upgrade my drone this year as well. So again, I love being in the DJI family. So I took me down some notes here in terms of what I think the DJI 360 could do better than the Insta360 X4, but then also what needs I would like to see fulfilled in terms of how this operates. And so the very first thing I'm going to talk about is the integration of the DJI Mic 2, which I'm wearing right now, into the Insta360 X4 versus the DJI 360. And so, as I mentioned previously, on the Insta360 X4, the DJI Mic 2 audio quality is horrible. It's horrendous. I'll never use that combination again. And so what the advantage is that DJI has is I have had no issues with the audio from any of the devices from the DJI Mic 2 or the DJI Mic 1. I have no issues. Anything that was caused was by me, or I forgot to turn something on, or whatever the case may be, or I forgot to do the noise reduction or whatever it is. So what I'm saying is that DJI should have the advantage of linking those devices together, beating out the Insta360 X4. Again, all the other components of the DJI 360 need to be there in terms of the video quality, the usability, the user interface, all that other kind of stuff. I've already told myself that I'm gonna buy the DJI 360 when it comes out regardless. I'm gonna give it a trial run and see if it beats out the 360, so then that way I can sell it and be done with it. But if it doesn't work, if it's not better, then I'm not gonna keep it. So the next thing that I'm gonna talk about is the software. Again, talking about the user interface. Right now, when you use the GPS remote and you want to edit or do anything on it, you have to use the DJI Mimo app, or the DJI app. I'll make sure I put down the right name down here. I want to be able to use it on a computer, the software. I want to be able to edit it on a computer, the 360 footage. I want to be able to edit it on a computer because it's easier for me not to sit here and have this small screen. I got big hands, man. So I want to make sure that I can edit it in a nice quality setting, sitting down and doing what I want to do. And so I think that that is one of the biggest challenges that DJI is going to have, is developing quality software. And how do you make it equal or be better than the Insta360 software? So I really do think DJI has their hands full with that. And so the next point that I want to talk about is DJI has to do better with their GPS remote. I'm going to make a full video about this, the usability and so on and so forth. But as it relates to the DJI 360 and Insta360, you can just see, looking at this, that DJI needs to do better with this GPS remote. So hop on over and check that video out when it releases, and I'll talk to you more about these GPS remotes and how functional they actually are. They are a lifesaver, especially when it comes to motovlogging and being able to access your on-off controls and see what your cameras are doing as you're riding along, because you want to be able to maintain your vision on the road, but also you want to be able to see that you're capturing the footage that you want to capture, because you only get a shot one time sometimes. So the next point is, I want DJI to make sure that the overlays from the GPS are user friendly. Again, you can only do the overlays in the DJI app on your phone. And I'll touch on that more in that video specifically about the GPS. So in the next category of things that DJI could do better than Insta360. So what a lot of people don't like is obviously you have your lens protectors right here. I have mine on installed all the time. I'm going back and forth whether or not I want to continue to do that or not because of the disruption of the video quality. You get some glares, some sun flares, stuff like that, and it hinders the quality of the video. It still comes out pretty good, but I balance that against how much do I really want to send this camera back to DJI to repair it, because you cannot just replace or repair the lenses themselves. You have to send the whole device back. So what I think DJI can do better than Insta360 is allow the user to be able to replace these lenses versus having to send it back and get the whole thing repaired or get a whole replacement or whatever the case may be. That modularity, the ability to do that would be awesome. And I think that would push it over the top for a lot of people that do action type video or have the potential to damage their camera like I did right here. And so the next thing is the lens disruption by these protective lenses. Like I said, that solar flare. How can we minimize that? How can we make it to where the user, myself and others who use the Insta360, how can we make it to where that lens flare isn't there? You don't have the issues or challenges. You may not be able to get by that at all, but this is an attempt or a time for DJI to try to do that. And that's the challenge I put out to them. And last but not least, I want the DJI 360 to have the same mounting system that the DJI Action Series has, with those clamps underneath and the metal, or more secure. Because again, this is going to be used in an action environment for most people like myself, on my motorcycle and mounted. I want to be able to make sure that this thing is not going to go flying off and get damaged like my Insta360 X3 did. And if I have something on that, I'll drop that in here right now. That thing took a beating. I know I have at least have the pictures. But anyway, I issue a challenge to DJI to make sure that the mounting system is very user friendly. I'm not a big fan of the Q20, the screwing on, but that might be the only option that we have to have a secure mount and to make sure it's nice and tight and you have the ability to check it. But the big challenge again is going to be, what mounting system do they use, and do they make sure that your money isn't just going down the road somewhere when you're riding along? Next, I'm going to move on to this article that I printed out from the internet, and I'll make sure I give proper credit down below. They touched on a few different things. Some of the things were similar, and honestly, I just literally read this right here, right now in the shop. But some of the things that I touched on in my list are in this list, and I'm not going to go over those again. But some of the things that they pointed out and key features that the DJI Osmo 360 is going to need to have, or whatever they call it, it's definitely going to have 8K video, because that is currently what the Insta360 X4 has. And again, I talked about in these other videos that I'll have listed below in the cards at the end. It is not true 8K because it has to be stead across a 360 perspective, okay? But it is high quality footage compared to the Insta360 X3. It also will, this article says it'll record in 4K 120 FPS or 8K 30 FPS. And again, I don't use the higher FPS frame rates. I don't use those very often, but it's good to have them when you need them. And so some of the other features that I highlighted: low light performance. So according to this, the Insta360 does not do well in low light. I do not do low light filming. I try to avoid it at all costs because, one, I only really want to shoot between golden hours, you know, sunrise, sunset, things of that nature. So it really is not a thing for me in terms of low light performance. So additionally, what this is saying is potential applications for the DJI Osmo 360. And again, I talked about adventure and travel videography. So that's me. I do motovlogging. The majority of stuff I do on my 360 camera is motovlogging. I'll occasionally do something we're on a trip or put it on the outside of my truck or something like that. But the most part, I do motovlogging. Virtual reality content creation. I will not be doing any of that, I say right now. I never say never anymore because things always change, right? But it's a possibility based on this article right here. And then last but not least, cinematic shots for social media. One of the things that I really love about the Insta360 X4, and I'm sure the DJI model will be able to do the same thing, is the ability to be able to change the frame size from 16:9 to 9:16 to square. Whatever it is I need to meet the social media content, it's all there in that one place. Versus right now with the Pocket 3 or the Action, I physically have to change the orientation and then I'm stuck with that shot. So again, that is clutch in social media creation. So if I can lean on the 360 camera more for that, I would definitely love that ability to do that, because I currently do that now with my 360. Not very often, but I do, because part of that problem is, again, the audio quality between the Insta360 and the DJI Mic 2, it's poor. I'm not going to use it for my main camera when I'm rolling down the road, especially when I intend to be having that talking head going on or whatever the case would be. So I want you to tell me, what did I miss? What do you think DJI should do with the DJI OSMO 360 in order to beat the Insta360 X4? And then what of my predictions or requests do you think will come true? I want you to drop it in the comments. I also want you to check out these two videos right here that I did on the Insta360 X4 as I went to purchase it, and then also as I went to use it and some of the accessories and things of that nature. I want you to like, share, and subscribe, and remember to always ride as if your life depends on it. Peace.